Hello there, tubers, tubettes, and of course the ever-widening circle of crazy people. Today is, what did we decide? July 24th. So I don't know when I'm going to air this video because it's kind of an ongoing deal that you and I are going through here. We first met John about 3.5, 4 months ago, and John was essentially down on his luck, pretty much out of money, had made some poor decisions, and haven't we all? So here we are about 3 months later, something like that. And what happened was the community pulled together and decided to try to support John so he could get back on his feet. And so we were effective in a number of ways of doing that. I'll let John tell you about it. And recently, and from the beginning, I'm just going to say, we've encouraged John to go back home to America, where we think he has the best opportunity for employment, and he can just kind of wait out the next 15 or 16 months, whatever it is, until his Social Security check kicks in, and then he can come back to the Philippines and pick up where he left off. However, John was reticent to do that. And I think it was primarily due to optimism. He had been supplied a computer and he was going to try to work online. He gave that his best swing. Unfortunately, it didn't work out as planned, but the effort was put in. He also is very reticent about being apart from his children, and I understand that feeling too. But I'll let John take it from here as to why you came to the decision finally that you want to go home. And, oh, by the way, we've bought him a plane ticket from here to Manila, and we've bought him a plane ticket from Manila to America, and we bought him an exit visa. Is that correct? Okay. So that was Jim did most of that with you a couple days ago.
Yes.
All right. So it's not just been me. It's been a lot of guys who are involved in this. So I guess, John, in your own words, maybe you can bring us up to speed as to what it's been like the last 3 months.
Well, there's certainly been some ups and downs, and there's certainly been some drama involved. And the reason why I decided to go back to the U.S. is because I first of all, I don't want to leave my kids, and I really don't want to leave Diana. Like it or not, that's just the way I feel at this point. And but there's really no other choice. There's no work here. I've tried everything I possibly could to try and get work here. I worked at remote task, and that didn't work out. That was just not enough money to support the apartment or utilities or anything like that. So this is what I decided to do. Is it a little bit too late? I don't think so. I mean, I should have done this 3 months ago for sure, but I was still trying to hold on to the strings.
Yeah, logically, financially, and all that, it made the most sense to do it the first month, right? But that was, John wasn't mentally prepared for that. And none of us that were involved with John wanted to be his master or his father, we didn't want to tell him what to do. We just wanted to say, we support you. And so the support entailed pretty much getting you an apartment, put you up for a while at a hotel, took care of your kids when they got sick.
The hospital.
The hospital deal. Maybe you could review that a little bit. What else? Oh, food, clothes, diapers and formula for the kids.
Yeah.
And really not a lot of frivolous crap, just food, shelter, and the necessities of life. We did go off kilter a little bit when the kids got sick, but I don't think anybody would argue that we misspent the funds because you had a hospital bill with 2 kids with what, double pneumonia or something like that? So anyway, that kind of decreased our timeline. And I think last month it was that I was talking to Rike, and him and I were kind of brainstorming as to how to help you. We'd kind of run out of ideas, and the only solution him and I could come up with was for you to go home. And Rike suggested, well, you're going to have to give John a timeline. And I did. And I said, that was about a month ago, I think. So I think that kind of, for lack of a better word, I think that kind of snapped you out of it, and brought you into like, geez, this is going to end. I'm not going to have an apartment. I'm not going to have any walking around money, and neither of my kids. Am I correct? So your plan when you go back to America is what? I mean, there's a support system in America, by the way. There's a couple of gentlemen, we'll leave their names out of it because we don't have their permission, but they're going to meet you at the airport, correct?
Yeah, they're going to.
Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I mean,
we're in a coffee shop and they're grinding beans, so I'm going to do my best to keep the microphone.
They're picking me up at the airport and taking me where I need to go. I guess we're going to find a shelter or something like that, and it's just nice to have them there. But they've given me all kinds of links and everything that I can use for government agencies, for what's it, welfare or food stamps or whatever like that. And then hopefully I can find a job quickly. They've assured me that I should have a job almost immediately doing something. And that's really, really good. And I need to, but everybody's been great, and so that's what the plan is. So basically I'm leaving here 3 months later that I should have done 3 months ago, but I didn't because I wasn't ready for that yet. And most of that is because I don't want to leave the babies, and I really don't want to leave Diana at this point. And but now I've decided that is exactly what I need to do.
How does Diana feel about all this?
She doesn't want me to go.
She doesn't want you to go.
No.
Does she understand the big picture?
Yes.
Does she understand that if you do leave, that you would be what we just discussed, that you'd be employed? I think, did you tell her you were going to send her some money every month?
Yeah. Well, they have enough formula to last, and not diapers, but enough formula to last until, like, I don't know, six or 8 weeks.
From today?
Yeah. So
Okay.
She's got, it's 2 bags a week, so she's got 8 bags.
Because we did stack up a supply of the formula and the diapers.
Yeah.
I remember that because there was a formula shortage. And I told him, I go, dude, you got to go buy a ton of formula, because I thought it was going to hit the Philippines, but I was overreacting. But still, it's going to get used. It's
she's
like
got enough formula to get her by, and I've given her, fans, everything from the apartment that I don't want, that I don't need. So she's set up pretty good at home there, upstairs, and I gave her the hot plate, pots and pans, and stuff like that, stuff that she needs. And I have even given her, the extra food that was left over, so she has that too. So,
well, that's good.
That's basically that.
I want to make it clear too, because it was suggested many times that Diana have an opportunity to come on the channel and sort of like talk whatever's on her mind also. So I just want to verify that I've made it clear to John that she's welcome to come on anytime.
Yeah.
I don't talk with her. It's not my place to talk with her. She has sent me a couple of messages. They've always been very polite. They've always been very respectful. And basically she's just said thank you a couple, 3 times when she has contacted me. And I never reached out and said, okay, want to come on the channel, because I didn't feel it was my place. I told John to tell her, and when the kids were in the hospital, baby May was there with her. Remember they went to go pay the bill or something like that?
Can I tell them how much the bill was?
Yeah, but the point I want to make is that I think May mentioned to her that Diana could be on her channel too. It's just, again, I just want to be clear, it's just to give Diana equal time, equal opportunity. There's his side of the story, there's her side of the story, and then the truth lies somewhere in the middle is the popular thing. But I'm in agreement with John. I don't think Diana wants to perpetuate anything. I think she just wants to live her life and leave it alone. So, talk about the hospital.
Well, the hospital ended up being 110,000 pesos.
110,000 pesos.
And Diana had Phil Health, and that took care of
And that
30
was
of
with
it.
PhilHealth.
Yes, with PhilHealth, so it reduced it to 80,000.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
when I was in the hospital, I mean, I'm running around. I mean, I spent all my days running around to all the different pharmacies looking for the medicines that the doctor wanted me to get, stuff like that. Half of them you can't even find in Dumaguete. I mean, I was just running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And Diana and I ate the food in the hospital, so we didn't spend anything extra. We ate whatever they gave us.
So we've taken it down to the wire. We had a collective of funds for you, and now we're at this juncture with the apartment where there is an opportunity that they may ask you to leave simply because we took the money for the apartment, and myself and another gentleman, we actually contributed a little bit to make it work financially to get him a plane ticket to America. That was like $1,400 or something like that. And then the exit clearance and the plane flight. So I think we were at $1,700, somewhere around that number. I don't know. And now he's got, how much? 17,000 pesos?
16.
16,000 pesos, about $320. And so we want him to hit America with some USD in his pocket. So right now, we're going to try to see if we can, if he has a security deposit at the apartment of 9,000 pesos. He's also got a contract that was never signed by him, and he's also got a contract that we just read it, and it says for 3 months, but then it takes him out to November, which is 6 months. So the contract's pretty much worthless because he didn't sign it, it hasn't been notarized, and the dates are wrong. So we're not clear. We're going to try to piecemeal it and see if they will allow that security deposit to float him for the next week or 10 days, and then we'll find some guys here locally. Hopefully can put him up, or we'll just find him. May says there's boarding houses that are cheap, and they're nothing special, believe me. But they're a roof over his head and a restroom, and he can always go to my house or Jim's house or somebody's house, take a shower, get cleaned up, get a meal. We're only dealing with, 2 weeks or something like that between now and leaving. So that's why I'll probably hold on to this video for a few days before we post it, because one thing I've learned in this situation is that things are constantly in a state of flux. 1 minute you guys are getting along, the next minute it's not so good, and the next minute it's great. But that's just typical of relationships. That's just how it goes between men and women.
There was ups and downs, and I certainly contributed to the ups and downs, but I'm a little bit hard-headed, like this table. And once I finally come to the conclusion that I contribute, and Diana contributes, but we're in a great place right now that I know she really cares about me, and no matter what I do, and I know that I really care about her, and I really care about the babies. So that's where we're at right now.
All right. Well, I guess that's kind of like the 14-day forecast we're at right now, because we've got 14 days till he's wheels up and on his way back to America. So I would call this a happy ending, but it ain't over yet.
No, I'm still, 16,000 pesos to go travel for 48 hours, and then having money in my pocket when I get to the U.S. I mean, it's not a lot of fun. It's not a lot of money.
But I do think the guys on the receiving end are fairly well-to-do. They're not rich guys, but nobody's going to let you starve, And I think the jobs are fairly simple to get in the United States. I know there's inflation, and I know there's a looming recession and all these negative factors. But from what I understand and from what I've heard, there's still a shortage of workers. So I would think that being able to get a job at Costco or at Best Buy or just a place where you can make $18-20 an hour should be fairly simple. Again, I don't know. I'm not there. You guys are there. Maybe you guys can let us know. Where are you landing? Chicago or something like that? He's going to Chicago.
I have to go from Manila to Hong Kong, 10-hour layover, and then I go to New York, which is another 3-hour layover. That takes me into Chicago, and then then the other guys are gonna pick me up, and I guess it's another 2 or 3 hours to where I'm.
How long is this flight?
I'm gonna be in the airports for 48 hours.
Good Lord.
So
Brutal.
so that's
you're
where
going to
I
need
am
like
now.
3 days just to recover.
I know, but I'm expected to hit the ground running there, and
Nobody expects you to hit the ground running, buddy. Trust me. These guys have traveled. This ain't their first rodeo. They know that when you get off that plane, you're going to be two things: tired and hungry.
Yeah.
So you're going to want a shower.
Well,
you're going to want a meal. You're going to want to lay down. And I got the feeling between the two of them, they'll be able to make all three things happen. Put a couple bucks in your pocket, and then progress from there.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll probably do one more video. Maybe when he's getting on the plane, maybe he mentioned maybe doing a family video with Diana if she wants to. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, the thing is I, what I told Diana, and it's really true, is I need to go to the U.S. because it's easier to do the things I need to do in the U.S. than it is trying to fight through everything here in the Philippines. All
Right.
the bureaucracy and all that stuff.
Right.
It's just, in my country, it's just, you go down to the Social Security office, like you did it, it's very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I said, just allow me the time to go get myself together, take a breath, earn some money, and I guess 13 or 6. What would we say? It was a year and 3 months before I hit my Social Security. So I was like, it's not a long time.
No.
Okay, it's not. And some of the guys talked about sending buy-in boxes or something like that to the kids, and Diana and stuff like that, because she wants to experience the U.S. as much as she can, even if it's in a box.
Copy that. And the other thing that I was trying to tell John when we were sorting through all this was that there's a lot of brave men and women that get deployed. They serve in the armed services, and they have to go into danger zones, and their spouses wait for them. And these guys are under fire, and these women are under fire. And the only thing you really need to do is find a place to live. And I know that's daunting, but in comparison, you know what I'm saying?
Well, at least there's somebody who's gonna help me a little bit.
Yeah, you got somebody on the receiving end that's gonna help you. Like I said, no one's gonna let you starve. No one's gonna kick you to the curb like a dog.
This thing on my neck.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because people ask about it all the time, and I'm always forgetting.
Well, it's there. I mean, that's it. And the guys are very, very. People have concerns about this thing on my neck. So, hopefully, apparently, I can go to some free clinics or something like that, in the U.S. and see if we can figure out what the heck is wrong with it. And I certainly wouldn't mind having it taken off my neck.
Have it looked at, yeah. All right, so I guess the moral of the story here is, I'll repeat what I think I said once before, but for those of you coming out to the Philippines, working online, let's address that for a minute.
While we're at it, this time I'm going to do things correctly.
Thank you.
And that means that's from you guys, and even though we butt heads, Paul,
All the time.
I finally accepted it. Is I need an emergency fund in the bank, 10, 15K or something like that, and then I need an income. So if I get sick or something like that, the babies get sick or something like that, even Diana gets sick or something like that, then we have an emergency fund to handle that. And the next thing is I know that I'll have an income every single month. And to me, that's wonderful. I can have a motor again, hopefully, and I can have a bigger place, to bring the family to.
Yep.
And that was just that's my goal. My goal is to come here and take care of my family and hopefully Diana as well.
I was telling John outside just before we did this video, I said, you know what? I get great relief knowing that no matter what, on the second Wednesday of every month, I'm going to get my Social Security check. And it's going to be more than enough to cover my rent and food and all this, that, and the other. And I can piddle it away. As long as I pay my rent and I buy some food and I've got the essentials, should I do some sort of knucklehead thing? I don't know what it would be, gamble or something like that. It doesn't really matter. As long as I've got a roof over my head and I've got my electric bill paid and I've got water to drink and food to eat, then all I really got to do is tough it out until the next check comes in. You'll be in the exact same position. And the safety net is critical just because of the emergencies. What I wanted to touch on real quick, and then we'll call it a day, was the online working thing. If somebody wants to supplement their income or earn their income before moving over here, maybe you're not at retirement age. The only way to do it, in my mind, is to go ahead in your home country and sign up for 1, 2, 3 companies. Either it's teaching English or doing Cambly or accounting work or working for some sort of company remotely, whatever. Do it. Make sure you get a paycheck. Make sure the check clears, that there's no issues with the banking. In other words, do a test run with it, or them, if you've got 2 or 3 different opportunities. And that way you know that it's functioning and that it's working. And the reason I say is do 2 or 3 is never want to put your eggs all in one basket, because you might be hired by Google and maybe Google downsizes. Well, then you can flip back over to teaching English or going to Cambly or whatnot. At least you're set up and running. And all you need is an internet connection, which can be challenging out here, but still, you get the drift. A savings account where you've got a cushion, where if the lights go dark, you can't transfer your money, even though it's sitting there. You've got that money sitting here, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever number you come up with, that'll run you at least for 2 or 3 months that you can rely on until you get whatever problem is sorted out. But that income stream is just so important. And no matter how many bad decisions you make, as long as you go ahead and pay your rent up front, stock yourself up with some food, be as big a knucklehead as you want. You got any final words for those knuckleheads?
Yeah, well, I'm doing the best I can. I mean, I've come to the decisions that these guys wanted me to make, and I was just holding on by a string for the last 3 months, thinking that things were going to get better. But this is where we're at right now. I have plane tickets home. There's people who are going to help me, and Diana's just going to have to take care of the kids. I mean, there's nothing to be done about that. I mean, she needs to take care of the babies, and I think she will. And I'm really happy about that. And she knows I'm coming back here. I'm not abandoning the kids. I'm not abandoning Diana. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just stepping away for a little while. Like you said, maybe going off to war or something like that. I don't know. But I'm just stepping away and going to get myself together, take a deep breath, and get away from some of the drama that goes on here. Just take a breath and take care of the kids and Diana from afar.
All right. Well, that's it for now, kids. And maybe I'll give you a list of stuff I want from Walmart for when you come back.
Yes, you'll be part of the ball volume box. Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's been suggested to me, by the way, to take care of Paul. Exactly like that. 5 things that he likes.
I want some hand puppets. All right, see you guys later.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, John.
Okay, bye, everybody.